health, financial, and home improvement. Enjoy being educated in such topics as personal injury law, community association law, family law, bankruptcy law, along with health show topics like pain management, men's health, and dental implants. Now, sit back and enjoy today's Ask the Experts with host Steve-O.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to Ask the Experts. We're on every Monday and Thursday from 6 to 7 with such experts as legal, health, financial, home improvement, and we have some incredible guests on tonight. My first guest is, I think what he does, I'm actually jealous for what he does and how good he is at it. We'll get to that in just a minute. You can catch us we're on 96.9 FM, 95.3 FM, 1470 AM. And if you'd like to watch tonight's show, you can go to Ask the Experts host Steve-O on Facebook. Our first show tonight, and let me welcome our guest. He came on last month for the first time. The guy was incredible. He doesn't think he was. He was. He was absolutely incredible. He does something that there's not very many companies that do. Let me introduce you to Carlos Rivas, ALF Options. You made it easier, Carlos.
I did.
So much.
Calling it a little different name, so I decided to switch it up a little bit.
Well, I tell you what, you are a good man. You have gifted, I guess, one of your clients, who you're going to introduce you to, and we're going to talk about assisted living tonight. So why don't you, because this is your 30 minutes, why don't you introduce your guest? She's right here on the show. She's done this before, so it's going to be easy for her. Let's welcome her to the show.
Sure. I wanted to talk a little bit about ALF Options. ALFoptions.com is the website. What ALF Options is right now, it's an assisted living facility directory. So what we decided to do is to try to unite the community with the assisted living facility. You know, it's a free community resource guide. It's also an app, which is going to make it a little bit easier for the clients to find an assisted living facility from home. The other purpose of ALF Options for the assisted living facilities is to put more money in their pocket. The more money that the ALFs have in their pocket, the more they can use for the clients. So it's going to be under ALF Options. I wanted to introduce Claudia. Claudia works for Grand Villa Senior Community. So I wanted just to introduce her to the community.
Hi, Claudia.
Hello, Steve-O. How are you?
Good. Your credentials are incredible.
Yes, and thank you, Carlos, for having me tonight. So I am Claudia Porta. I do work for Grand Villa Senior Living. I've been in senior living now for 8 years, almost 9. My background is a nursing home administrator. I did skilled nursing for 5 years, and then I transitioned into senior living. I have a master's for Nova Southeastern University here in Florida. And presently, I work as a regional executive director for Grand Villa. They own 17 properties, but I do oversee the Southeast region or the East region. That does include Delray East, West, Grand Villa of Deerfield Beach, and Grand Villa of Boynton Beach.
Well, I got to tell you, there's a lot of people that I hope tonight, there's a lot of people who don't know about assisted living until it comes to time where mom and dad have to be put into assisted living. And I got to think it must be so hard for someone maybe who's lived in their house for a long time, all of a sudden have to go to a new environment. That must be tough.
That's correct. It is tough, but That is why our sales experts or our leasing coordinators, myself, administrators, we're a team in the community, and we do guide the families through the process. It starts with what exactly is it that they're looking for, what are the needs of their loved ones. We offer independent living. It depends the stage that everyone is at. So independent living, assisted living, and memory care services. Um, when it comes to assisted living, and that's when we do an evaluation, our nurse would have to sit down, evaluate their loved one and find out exactly what stage, what is it exactly that they need. And then we make a decision with the family. We explain the plan of care and what's the best placement for their loved one.
Well, I'm going to ask you probably a very important question. How's the
Okay.
food? How's the food?
The food is great. We do have chefs, our
Okay.
executive chefs, and we do have a corporate chef as well. But food is important. Nutrition is important overall. There are times that as we age, and it depends on our health. Sometimes we have to downgrade our diets, or sometimes we're diabetic, and we do a great job of accommodating everybody's dietary needs.
Now, are you having to do things different now with COVID?
Yes, we are. Originally, we started with COVID. We make sure we follow the guidelines of ACA, make sure we follow the guidelines of the CDC. So 6 feet, social distance. Everybody has to wear their face mask. Activities, we are doing groups of 10 or less. Obviously, again, with the social distancing, making sure everybody wears their face mask. Also providing testing. Testing is very important, especially for the new residents. We do rapid testing prior to the new resident occupying, taking possession of their apartment.
What about, I'm sure people are thinking, how safe is it to to move into an assisted living facility?
Well, our protocols, we recently had all our vaccine clinics for COVID-19. So right now, our residents have received the first and second dosage of their vaccine. And like I said, it is safe to come into the communities. We have, again, we continue to follow guidelines, even though we are all vaccinated. We still wear a face mask, and we're still maintaining that social distance. But as far as now offering more activities, the residents being able to come out of their apartments and participate, come out in the dining room and actually have a meal in the dining room now, making sure tables are 6 feet apart. We are making tremendous changes now as we finally got vaccinations.
We just got a text from a listener saying they know of your facility and have heard many good things about it. They want to know, though, do any of your facilities offer, I guess, personal, like personal, I guess, training where, like if you've got a broken leg and you have to have certain types of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Therapy, physical therapy.
Rehab.
So we do offer outpatient rehab. So depending on what transition clinically with that patient, we would recommend a rehab and then for the resident to come back to us. If, again, clinically, we would reassess. Some come directly to us, and home health would partner with home health companies. And they do come out and they send a therapist and they do the rehab right back at home.
Okay, just we have another text wanting to know if you do Zoom of the facility.
Yes, we do. So we're offering virtual tours, and
Yes.
we're now open for a long time we're doing our virtual tours. Now we are open for physical tours. So you just have to book your tour.
Well, it seems like you're going the extra mile when it comes to safety with COVID.
Absolutely. They will go through a screening process at the front desk. Um, so they take the temperature, they answer a questionnaire, and again, they have to have an appointment.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, that's really nice. One of our listeners knows about your facility. My final question to you is, why should I choose your facilities over other facilities in town?
Well, I think our facility is very unique. I can personally tell you I've worked for other competitors, and when I made the transition during COVID, because it was right in the middle of COVID, I came to Granvilla and I actually toured. And the measurements that Granvilla has taken during COVID, the stickers, the placement, the technology, the accommodations they have used to continue to communicate with families, sending Friday weekly videos, um, having iPads in place so we can FaceTime with the families and that connection, keeping the families in the loop of everything that was going in every single one of their buildings, I think was very important. It's something very important to always have that communication. And I felt that I would be in the right place as an employee. And everything that I saw for the families that was implemented, they sold me. So I know that what we offer is a great service, and we offer that compassion, and we're here for our families.
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate you for getting your master's. Not an easy thing to do. It's pretty obvious you love your residents.
Yes, yes, I do.
So now, if I want to reach you, how would if I want to look at the facilities, how would I reach you?
You can go on the website, Grand Villa Senior Living. You can always call me directly. My cell phone is 561-703-8383, or you can also send me an email, cporta@grandvillaseniorliving.net.
And she likes getting calls about 3 a.m. So no problem. I'm kidding you. Listen, you are a wonderful guest, and maybe we'll be able to twist Carlos's arm to bring you back on again. We're going to go to break, and when we come back, we'll have Carlos with us with ALF Options. We'll be right back.
When it comes to assistance in placing your loved ones in assisted living, Allegiance Senior Consultants is a top placement company in South Florida. They represent over 400 licensed assisted living facilities, a free service with over 18 years of healthcare experience, providing you with the best options and guiding you towards the right direction. If you have questions, they have answers. A senior staff coordinator will contact you immediately to discuss your situation. We will provide you with the best options to choose from depending on finances, your loved one's level of care, and help answering all your questions and concerns. Searching for the appropriate community can be stressful. Let their experienced professionals make your process at ease, knowing you are working with someone who has your loved one's best interest at heart. Allegiance Senior Consultants continue the care for senior process by assisting with visits to the different facilities until the right community is found. If you are looking for a company you can trust to help make your assisted living search a lot more informative, please contact Allegiance Senior Consultants. Phone them at 754-816-5129. They look forward to assisting you with all your needs.
And we are back. We are here with Carlos Rivas of ALF Options. And like I said, I think what he does is so important because there's so many questions that people have about assisted living. And when when they're looking for a facility, they don't know what questions to ask or about the insurance. And what I've learned about Carlos and his staff is they go the extra mile to do everything they can to get you into the right facility. And Carlos, what you do is so amazing. And to the second half of the show, we're going to talk about truth and myths about assisted living and questions that you might have.
Yes, correct. Good evening, everyone.
So let's start off with, do you have to use all of your money for assisted living facility? And I know I know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
I get that question a lot, and everyone's always asking, do I have to use all my money to go into an assisted living facility? You don't have to use all of your money. Working with us, we're always going to try to find you a facility you can afford, and you can afford now and also in the future. But, a lot of these facilities sometimes will work the best to negotiate with you to get you in the door. So you don't have to use all your money. Also, if you can get some assistance from the state, financial assistance from the state of Florida, the facilities will also work with leaving you with some pocket money as well. So yeah, you don't use all your money going to assisted living. It's up to you to decide. But some of these facilities do charge a little more than others, but we will always try to find the right price facility for you.
Carlos, you and I, God, we spoke for a couple hours, and the things that you've done for your clients to get them into the right assisted living and to help them out as to monies that they did not know might be available to them through insurance is just amazing how well you work with people who come to see you for assistance. Oh no, I think I think Carlos is frozen. We'll have to get him to call back. Claudia, while we have you on, what's the number one question families have when they meet with you?
I think it's the same. Financials are very important for families, and care is very important, the services that we offer. But like Carlos did say, and I do work closely with Carlos with Allegiance senior consultants. It depends if you do get Medicaid. So
Right.
the state of Florida does assist through their Medicaid program, and they do pay a stipend towards care. So that does help the families. Other families don't have that, and they may also have the PACE program, which is becoming familiar here in Palm Beach County. And then there are other family members that have pensions, Social Security. It's so many things involved, and then you also have your mix, which have to pay privately. We also accept the private insurance. So it just depends. But that, we always try to figure that out for the families to make sure that they financially qualify and that they're going to be able to afford
Right.
their placement.
Well, we got Carlos back with us. I wanted to ask you about, and this we were just talking about this qualifying for Medicare benefits. Can one transfer funds or transfer property name from one name to another? And what about kids? Can they add their name to the property or take mom's name and just add it to with the rest of the children?
Right. They legally cannot transfer names from one to another. They can't remove the name. Can't add, in my understanding, anything with Medicaid. When you try to apply for Medicaid benefits, they always look 5 years behind, on finances, on properties. So sometimes I'll get a family member that calls me and they're like, well, we added our name, or we took our mom's name out of the property because we were afraid of Medicaid, or, of someone taking their home, is what they tell it. But I tell them that they can't do that, because when you try to apply for Medicaid benefits to go into a nursing home, or you try to apply for Medicaid benefits to go into assisted living to help pay for the assisted living, Medicaid looks 5 years behind on that. And it's either open up an investigation. So if you are going to consider anything with the property or with the assets, you want to talk to an elder law attorney. Not just any attorney, an elder law attorney that's specializes in Medicaid benefits, to make sure that you are making the right decisions. Because you're going to pay an attorney to move the property around, and then you're going to have to pay an attorney now to move it back when the state does
Right.
an investigation, when something doesn't make sense. So I would, from my understanding, it's you leave it in a will. You pass away. You leave the property to your children. Not a problem. There can't be any changing or moving of assets.
Well, my next question, I already know the answer to because we talked about this, but how involved should the family be in this decision?
You want to help answer that question?
You want me to? I can help you.
How important is it?
It is extremely important. Um, I think the families need to have that peace of mind, and I think families also need to know where their loved one is at, their care, and Grand Villa does great at that. And Carlos, I've been working with Carlos so many years, so Carlos knows how we work together with Legions, and just he's a very caring individual, and
Yes.
so am I. So we really work well together when it comes to giving families the peace of mind. But absolutely, they have to be involved. It's important.
Who has the final say?
The client has the final say, or the power of attorney has the final say.
How about the resident?
Yeah, the resident, yeah.
Yes, they're always going to be the ones to make the final decision. But they want to include their family, or sometimes they don't want to include the family because they don't want to bother the kids.
Right.
But I came to that working one-on-one. We're exploring all these options. We're coming up with this game plan, and all of a sudden the family's not involved. No, my kids are not involved. All of a sudden the kids are calling me, oh, we're involved, which I knew was going to happen. Which is so. But what we try to, which is great, because that's what we want. We want family involved. But by the time that they're involved, it's like we already did all the hard work for them. So now
Right.
it's like, okay, Mom, you found these two places. Why did you find these two places? So when they call me, I break down the whole breakdown. Look, we explored 10 options. We explored finances. We explored now and future money. And this is the three that she decided to look into. And that's why she's presenting these three to you. So we come up with a good strategy for the client to be comfortable. So when they approach the family members, the families are more at ease because they have so much things going on, children, work, that it's also hard for them to find a facility. So Allegiance Senior is here not only for the client, but also for the family. With ALF Options, we're trying to make it to the digital world, more like the finding facility from your iPhone or from your phone or from the computer, so that to make it easier for everyone. But family members still always want a tour in person. I had a gentleman today that we did virtual tours with, and then he was like, I'm not doing any more virtual tours. I want to see the facility in person. So the fact that Grand Villa is doing the tours in person is great because not a lot of facilities are doing it. Some of them are, some of them are not. So that's the positive thing about Grand Villa. Also, Grand Villa has the independent living as well. So they have different types. They have the independent living, they have the assisted living. So independent living, you can come and go as you please, just leaving your community and being in another community with activities, and and then if you feel you need assisted living, you move to the assisted living side. So Grand Villa does have that independent living, so you can age in place as well, which is great.
Claudia, do you get in your residents, anybody with Alzheimer's or dementia, or do you not handle that?
Yes, we do. We also have memory care in all of our communities.
I like that better, memory care.
Yeah, we do. We do have memory care. It's secured. It's a secure unit. And we offer also care services for them. And depends, again, we assess, depending on their level, we'll let the families know.
Well, I got to tell you, from the time I spent with Carlos, he really goes out of his way on the financial end of it because people don't really understand what they can afford and what they can't afford. And I didn't realize there's so much into just making that decision before you start just going anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very important. I've seen a lot of clients call me where they're paying 2,000, 5,000, all this money, and then all of a sudden their money's gone. They're like, Carlos, I spent all this money and now they're kicking us out in those words, but they're not, they're
How
giving them a
sad.
notice, but they're not. Yeah, so then you're like, well, unfortunately, this is the situation, and now we just got to find one that you can afford right now.
Right.
That a lot. So I believe Grand Villa as well, they also look at finances. We look at finances because they don't want to put someone in the facility for 8 months or a year, and then all of a sudden they say, oh, we can't keep you here now. They give them an eviction notice. So I think they look at everything as well to make sure that the client stays there, that there's family support as well. We all look at that to make sure that it's not, the client doesn't just leave the facility and now where do we go or what do we do? So.
Well, you both are great guests. Carlos Rivas from ALF Options and Claudia Porta. She represents Grand Villa Senior Living here in South Florida. I want to thank you both. I know you've given people such great information. And Carlos, we'll see you again next month.
Next month, I'll have another guest next month.
Beautiful.
Please explore the website, alfoptions.com.
And
So
give me your phone number.
Again,
give me your phone number, Carlos.
Sure, it's 954-865-8378. That's 954-865-8378. And remember, guys, we're a free service, no pressure company. Just here to provide you with option to guide you towards the right direction. So even if you're not ready to go into assisted living, we're here to at least help answer all your questions and prepare you for the future.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you next month. And we're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to be doing our elder law show.